All right, I believe we are live on the air, just like that. Let me double check everything here, make sure it's all good on the phone and whatnot. But I think we're actually good to go. So let me get him to position here. We're continuing the build for Battle at Arlong Park, the One Piece set. I had a stream last week already, I think. Yeah, we'll leave that open for now, the window. Last week I had a stream doing this, streamed for maybe 2 hours. Something like that. So we got pretty far along in the set build. But now I would like to continue and finish. One thing I almost forgot. Let's see if I can get some more lighting going here. Bam. See, does turning that on make much of a difference? Maybe. Just maybe. We'll put it right there. Why not? Cool. So, yeah, we're finishing the setup. Very excited. Let's just make sure the audio is good to go. So, yeah, audio is perfect. That's awesome. Sorry if that was right in your guys' ears. But yeah, we were on. I got the bags on this side. Was it bag 6? Bag 7? Bag 6. Alrighty. This has been a very good build so far and a fun set to build. It's been very, very interesting. I think basically all we have to build is actually the tower. I think we built everything else, if I'm right. We do have a couple stickers left as well, so that's kind of cool. Leave the stickers there for now. Yeah, we're definitely building up that tower, so this is going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I had an upload come out today, which is kind of cool, so that came out. We got lots of videos coming out, so check out the channel if you guys like that stuff. But yeah, we gotta find the right page here. Instruction 3. Did I pass? No, I might have passed it. Hold up. Hold up. No, we did that. We have the base and the... Yeah, we got all that. We haven't even built Luffy yet. I took a little sneak peek into the bags. And for some reason, I don't know why, but Luffy's at the very end, the very last bag. So we're not going to see him for a good minute. A good while. Bag 6. Perfect. Alright, exactly what I was looking for. When I'm done this set, we get to open up and build the Floating on Barrett Tea restaurant, which I'm really excited for. So that's partially why I was like, okay, I gotta get on. I gotta stream. We gotta get the build done. Because this is a build that I wanted to make sure I started and finished on a stream. I would hate to start a stream and then not finish the build on stream. It just kind of would be horrible, you know? So getting her done today, and then we can move on to that other set. I'm very, very excited. I think afterwards, once all these sets are built, I'm probably looking for another one to start, and it's probably going to be the Going Merry. I think I want the ship now. I think I'm ready for it. I don't know why I held out. I wanted to make sure I get the most expensive set first, and then all the other ones will be cheaper and it'll just be easier to afford going forward. So, with that being said, now that we have the expensive one, I can definitely look into buying. I can look into buying that Going Merry. And then the only ones that are left would be the huts with Shanks. There's one other one. I'm kind of blanking right now on what the other one is. The hut with Shanks. Oh, Buggy the Clown's Clown Circus. I don't know if it's a clown tent or a circus uh event. It's the one where the Luffy's tied onto the little spinning wheel. It's a cool set. I don't think it's overly cheap though. Under 100, but over 50, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm really interested to see, and I am going to do a video on it once I've bought in all the sets, which I think there's 7 in total. I don't know if that includes the brickhead or not, but once I acquire all the sets, I want to put them together and see how cohesive they look. I want to see like how well they display as a set, and I want to see, I know like they're all different scenes from the TV show, but I just want to see if they work well together. Especially being that the Floating Barrett restaurant is an interesting set. It's a ship, but more of a display piece. Definitely, it's more along the lines of that new Death Star that they've had come out with Star Wars, where it's the same thing where it's like it's a Death Star, but it's only half of it, and it's more of a display piece. That's why it looks the way it looks. And yeah, I wouldn't have minded getting a proper ship, I think, for the most expensive one, being the floating Verity, but maybe didn't want to do that because of the Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Pearl, or I should say Jack Sparrow's what is it? Jack Sparrow's pirate ship? Is that what it's called? The Black Pearl. Either one. Yeah, I don't know if they wanted to just make sure they didn't compete that way and they wanted to make sure that they put out one big giant ship and it sells well, but I still am hopeful that in the One Piece world, we're gonna get some big ships. Like I want extremely big ships. Maybe when we get the Sunny, they'll do a bigger one than the Going Merry one that came out. The Going Merry, I think, is gonna be pretty decent size, but I don't know exactly how big it is, especially compared to the Verity. How's everyone doing today? Today is what is today? Is today Wednesday? Wednesday evening. I don't think I've ever done an evening stream, especially during a weekday, so it's kind of nice. Switching things up a little bit. Usually I've been kind of just doing streams on the weekend, but we had some time this evening, so trying to finish this set here. Not much more to do. We're just building up them walls for our little tower here. It's coming along very nicely. Some window pieces. Oh, we got some panes to put in. Cool. What else would I like to rant about right now? Let's talk about, honestly, new sets that are coming out for October. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think there's a ton coming out. I've been kind of watching other YouTubers, the ones that are more like the leakers and the ones that are strictly new set information releasers. They don't really have much coming. I think there's maybe some city sets, some specifically Christmas themed ones. Aside from that, on October, I don't know if it's first, I think it's October 1st, not 4th. But at the beginning of October, we should be expecting that Lego Star Wars AT-AT set, so that's going to be interesting. I am excited for it. I think, and this might be a little, I don't know, maybe not necessarily weird, it's just weird to think about, but I want to buy two of them and not actually keep one sealed, but open both, and I want to see if I can make a bigger gingerbread AT-AT. I just want to see how big and cool looking I could make it, and I have a feeling it's going to be like a table size AT-AT that's going to come, and I want the proper size, but I don't know if buying two of them will allow me to, like my brain process is thinking, well, if I buy two, that means I'll get double the size. But no, that just means you have double the piece count. It's up to me to find a way to build with those pieces to make it the double size. So I might run into a bit of an issue trying to figure that out. Excuse me. Yeah, so I might end up just ordering one. Might just pick up one, but I definitely want that set, and unfortunately, I think it's under $100, so it's not too bad of a price, but I haven't heard of any kind of like GWP or anything that's coming with it. I think it might be just one of those sets that's too cheap for that, because you're not putting out hundreds, you're putting out less than 100. But it would be really cool if they had, like, even if it was like a little baby AT-AT gingerbread one, that little micro build that was actually added to it. I think that would be really sweet. What else are we looking for? That piece. Nice. Yeah, so other than the gingerbread AT-AT that's coming out on, I believe, the 1st, I'm not sure of any other sets that are interesting me for the rest of the year right now. I believe there's still more sets to be announced for the rest of the year. I could be totally off by that, but I want to say there's at least a handful more that should come out maybe late November, early December. But we are basically at the end of the year now, so it'll be kind of nice, and I think I'll make a proper sit-down video about it. But just talking about how the year went, what sets came out, it's the first year that I'm really back being heavily involved in Lego. And so I think it would be nice to actually talk, right? What were the pros of the year? What were the cons of the year? What were really great sets that came out? What did I do Lego collecting wise? What did I do consuming Lego wise? Like for me personally, I went to a Lego convention, so I'll mention that and briefly talk about how that kind of impacted my thought process specifically towards collecting. And yeah, just do like a deep dive. I think it was a good year for Lego. I know a lot of people, I think like the number one complaint that I heard about was pricing. Pricing just seemed to be, for some reason, out of there. And honestly, I don't know. I think the pricing was okay. I just think it's an issue, and it definitely becomes like an immediate issue when you're trying to collect everything and you can't afford it. If you can afford it, I don't think it'll ever be an issue stress wise to you. But for people that want to collect it all, they can't afford to, and it becomes this nightmarish thing where you're thinking about it every night and day, and you can't manage that stress. And there's a part of me that kind of feels that way, but then I've made sure to just pick one Lego theme and be like, this is my theme and this is what I'm gonna collect for, and that's One Piece. So that's why I'm streaming these builds. These are the sets that I like the most, and I'm just going with them. There's 7 of them. It makes it a lot more manageable in the brain to know, like, hey, I only have 7 sets to buy, even though I'll tell you right now, I already did the math on how much it would cost me to acquire all sets in total. And that total was 736 Canadian. I could be off by that number by a little bit, but 736. So all that money, I think I messed it up. There we go. All that money put out for it's a good amount of money. Like I don't want to downplay $700, but it makes it a lot easier than trying to think about getting that new Pirates of the Caribbean set at 450 Canadian, picking up the Death Star at a 1300 Canadian or 1,000 American. Like that could just, although you get a couple of those sets and then some more of the mid-dollar sets added in, you're out thousands of dollars. And that's where Lego collecting becomes impossible to keep up with. And I have seen people mentioning, like, is there burnout when it comes to Lego collecting? And I mean, definitely there is. I think people are burning themselves out though, and I don't think it's a demographic issue. I think people who are consuming Lego are enjoying it and they don't get stressed about it, but people that are trying to collect it are being constantly overstressed and overstimulated with how much is coming. But at the end of the day, one thing that I like is, because I'm just looking for Lego sets right now, and there's not really any other sets I'm looking for, although I will say that's a lie. I buy all CMFs right now. So I started at the beginning of the year getting into CMFs again. I am into every CMF. I don't care what the series is. Obviously, we've had some pretty decent series. I think the Spider-Man is probably the breadwinner for this year. But aside from One Piece and CMF figs, I'm not collecting anything else. So I will go on YouTube and just watch guys that are into other themes. So I like watching Mandar Productions, or I think his name's Solid Brick Studios. He's a really good one to watch for Star Wars stuff specifically. And I do like watching a guy named Brixie. He lives in the same province as me. I like watching his content. He has a little bit of everything. My understanding, I think he's building a museum right now for Lego. Sorry, a Lego museum. So it's a Lego City mock in the scale of a museum. So he's got a giant warehouse. And from my understanding, is I think he's going to be opening it to the public in the future, and people will be able to pay an admission fee to visit that place like it's a tourism spot and actually consume the Lego pieces and look at them and check it out. And that's kind of cool. It reminds me of I think it was Legoland or Brick City in Niagara Falls. That was a really fun place to just go and view a Lego creation that's not at a convention. So because he's doing that, he picks up every kind of set from every single theme. Of course, he's partnered with Lego, so he does get a lot of them sent to him, but he has a more variety of themes, so I'll watch him for basically like everything and anything, just like, randomly. He doesn't necessarily do just Star Wars or just City or just Ninjago. He's a collect 'em all kind of person, and I would say he's one of the few where he does genuinely almost collect them all. He does a pretty decent job of it, and it's nuts. It's nuts. It's crazy. I mean, from what I've seen, and I watched one of his videos recently, and this is where I love the internet and learning about stuff. When it comes to Lego's releases with sets, apparently, I think he got, sorry, not got, but I think he said there is just over or just under 1,000 sets. I think it was like 800, like late, just under 900, something around there in total sets that come out per year. And that's been the last 5 years, I believe, in a row that that's happened. And then before that, they had less than maybe 400 or less than 300. So they are pumping out set after set after set. Absolutely no problem at all. Just like having a hoot and a holler, right? And I mean, they're making money, of course, and they're doing good, but it is exhausting to almost see. One of the interesting things that I think is kind of cool, though, with all these sets being released, it means a lot of sets have to leave earlier than they normally would. So we're seeing a lot of sets get released specifically for movies. Any sets that are released with a movie and paired to a movie, they come and go fast. We're getting like maybe 4 months production, 5 months. So, for example, the Brave New World Captain America movie from Marvel. That movie. Hi, Bear. That's my little dog. I have my not window open, but my blinds open. My poor dogs are terrified of everything and anything. But so that movie, the Brave New World Captain America movie, had a set come out for it. I just seen it, and I only found it because it was on sale. I didn't even know they made a set for the movie, because it came out in February. So the set itself might have came out just before. Obviously, it had to come out, I think, before February. I could be wrong again, but it hasn't been out for long, and they're already talking about it being retired, and that's just kind of crazy. It's like, well, the movie just came out. I know hype does die down, and it's not necessarily like an Avenger film, but it's still a more of a movie, and it's already gone. So you gotta really keep your eyes peeled with this stuff. And it makes me have a ton of FOMO for real when it comes to collecting, because there's a ton of sets that would have come out in the last, I would say 10 years, but let's say even just 5 years since 2020-ish. There's been so many sets come out that I've missed because I just wasn't in that collecting mindset where I really can't go back and collect them anymore. It's just not going to happen. It's not really feasible. Like, I don't have that kind of cash. And I mean, even if I wanted to, even if I was to get them also at retail price, it's going to be wild. Like, you're talking about tens and tens of thousands of dollars with how those sets have come out. So next year is going to be a nutty year. I don't think people have realized or thought about it for even like a solid second. But if you just take a moment to think about next year and what's coming out, you've got, and this is cray cray, okay? You got the new Spider-Man, okay, all right? I think that comes out May. I could be wrong about the date on that one. You've got the new Avengers movie that's coming out, all right? That's cray cray, so that's wild. Like, those are going to be two movies that they're going to dump some sets on for sure. Like, they have to. They got to make some crazy sets for those ones. And then what else do they have? They have a couple other big ones coming out that obviously I'm blanking on. The other one, number one I can think of that's not Marvel per se, would be Pokemon. They have that one coming out. So that's competing with Avengers. My mind's blown to even think about that. Like, we're getting Pokemon then Avengers. If you want to, I don't know how well One Piece sales are going for the sets. I hope they do really well because I love One Piece. But let's say they're doing great. There is another season coming out, TV show, so I do believe they're going to have more sets come out next year. So with that being said, it's like, okay, you got that going on, you got this going on, like, oh my. And then of course, we don't even know, there's going to be a lot more stuff that's just unannounced right now that's going to come out in the future for next year. So I might even just talk about like in a long form video about what's gonna happen going into 2026, like with our wallets. Like this is gonna be aggressive, okay? We are gonna have so many sets to buy, such little time, not enough money, not nearly enough money. I don't think anybody ever has enough money for Lego. Even the millionaires, I think it just becomes a breaking point. It's ridiculous. I'm excited and scared. I'm excited and scared. You know, I'm really excited because we're gonna get some real good variety next year when it comes to sets. But I know for a fact I ain't gonna be able to collect them all. I'm gonna collect some of them, and I'm just gonna have to live with that. But it's not the end of the world. It's, you know, this is. I just couldn't imagine being a kid right now. Like if I was 12 years old again and all I had was my paper route still, you know, let's just assume like inflation was correcting all the numbers and whatnot, I still wouldn't have nearly enough to afford any of these sets. I'd afford like one set maybe a month and that'd be like under 50 bucks. So even as an adult dropping all this money on it, it's just like sometimes I wonder, I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like when's it gonna stop? When's enough enough? You know, they just drop like absolutely, and I know it's not necessarily like crazy hype or anything, but it happens every year. They drop those calendars for Marvel. I think they do them for a bunch of them. Marvel, uh, obviously Star Wars. They've always done Star Wars are the most popular. They do City. They do what else do they do? Marvel, Star Wars, City. I think they've done Ninjago calendars and a couple other ones. Friends. And so they just drop those, and those are like $60 Canadian sets, and you're just sat there like, what? Like what's going on? You got all this stuff that's just dropping. Like if you were a fanatic for those calendars, and I don't think there's necessarily a person that is, but let's say you were really excited about them, you wouldn't be able to you could buy them. But let's say there's five of them, right? Five times six is 30. That's $300. That's $60 a piece. That is some cash, okay? 300 bucks. 300 bucks gets you close to that floating Berity set that I have now. So that just puts into perspective how money is spent. You know, I did a nice little funny video comparing, for example, the new Death Star and its expensive price. So I compared what it would be like if instead of spending, let's say American dollars, right? You wanted to spend $1,000 on that Death Star. Instead of spending $1,000, what could you get in other Lego sets for $1,000? Well, I did duplicates, but you can do a little bit of everything. But you could get, and I think it was 10 AT-ATs at I think at a price of $50 each for the price of a Death Star. And it's like, you start comparing stuff like that, like obviously the piece count's higher, but just not only just piece count, like there's so much more set, there's so many more instructions, there's so many more boxes, so much more enjoyment. Like $1,000 can really still go very far with Lego. And I'm scared for the day when that's not necessarily the case. I don't know how much longer we have. I'm hoping that it's going to stay okay for a little while, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you know, now that Lego's getting into these like ultra sets and these ultra sized ones, you know, they're going pretty hardcore on the pricing. You know, $1,000 US for that Death Star. Are we going to eventually see a $1,500 set? I don't know if that Death Star is the most expensive set that's been released yet, or announced, I should say. But let's just say it is. That's obviously a new bar, right? A new bar has been set for how much we can try and charge, and I could see them trying eventually with like some type of like ultra collector's edition that is 1,500, 1,800, and then that's when your $1,000 really don't be going that far. It just doesn't go very far at all. So yeah, let's just hope and pray that this stays not too bad for right now. I think it will. I think Lego collecting, it's getting hit with some tariffs, but I've seen Lego investing billions of dollars into finding a way to make this work on a more long-term basis with these tariffs and building new factories, building new depots, building everything, and they're working. They are definitely trying, and I think it's nice to see. It's nice to see them. I think things will get better. I don't know if prices will never necessarily ever get cheaper now. I think we're stuck in a new price threshold, which is kind of weird to say, but I think that will allow us to possibly get better piece count for our price eventually. Like that's something we might see, but I don't think they're going to drop the prices. We're on bag 7, so we only got 2 bags left. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Doing some decent progress. Yeah, this has been pretty good so far. Really enjoying this build. We got the first side done. Now we got to do the exact same build again, just on the opposite side. This is the only thing that kills me sometimes in Lego, is when you're doing this. And this is where, instead of doing like a live stream, I would normally be watching a movie. I'd be sitting there. I think that's one of the best ways to probably build Lego. I think it's one of the best ways to build Lego is to consume TV content. And I know that can be like a slight ADD thing. You know, you're just not really actually paying attention to even necessarily Lego build. You're just whipping through the motions, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun just killing 2 birds with 1 stone, especially if you're watching easy to view TV content, like a Big Bang Theory, or I'm trying to think of what else would be like easy to watch. Big Bang is just like honestly a instant classic to me. The Office is great. I'm thinking more just sitcom shows, honestly. What is it? The Kings of Queen Street, the one with Kevin James. His sitcoms are great. Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon's interesting. I like Young Sheldon. Did I mess that up? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, did I mess this up? Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, Young Sheldon's another good one, but that one just ended recently, unfortunately, so it's gone now. They have that new First Marriage with Mandy or something like that. I don't know how good or bad that one is necessarily. I haven't watched the first season. I think there's 2 seasons already of it, but just should watch shows like that, do some Lego building. That's always a good time. I even, because I'm just a YouTube kid, I've been watching YouTube since like 2010, maybe a little bit earlier, like 2009-ish, 2008. But I've been watching YouTube for ages, and it's just comfort. It's like comfort food to me. I can just watch it all the time. And there's a lot of videos I learn. I do try to stay on more like informational channels than everything, or than like, let's say the comedy side of ones. Oh no, it's gone. And there's no way we're getting it. That's so far. Okay, we'll come back to it when we need it. If we need, we're gonna need it. Obviously, I'm gonna need it, but I think we have a couple extras for now. Nothing worse than dropping a piece like that and it's just gone in the abyss. Not bad, not bad. We'll make it through this together. What was I saying? Something along the lines of watching TV. Yeah, watching TV while building is a good time. And YouTube's chill, man. Love the program. I love the app. I've I don't hate the changes over the years that they've made too much. You know, some I won't necessarily say were the greatest, but you know they're alright. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that with my YouTube channel here, I'm hoping when I get the ad stuff turned on, the ad revenue thing turned on, I'll have to figure out how all the settings work. But I just want to make it where my YouTube channel doesn't slaughter you with ads. I just don't want you to be like bombarded with it. I want you to be chill, like enjoying and not stressed out about hitting with like, let's say 5+ ads, because it happens on a video. So I think there's a setting on that. So I'd like to try and set it up where it's reasonable, you know. I think 1 ad, 2 ads, obviously like length of a video is kind of important, because like if it's 30 minutes long, I don't think people are too mad at 2 ads. If it's 5 minutes long, you got 3 ads. I think people have beef, just kind of like that. But yeah, just kind of trying to learn this online stuff. I've been loving getting comments from people. Something that's been crazy is my international watchers. I got lots of y'all. It's pretty hype, man. It's pretty hype. I gotta say, I've been enjoying connecting with people overseas and hearing their different stories and stuff. It's been a lot of fun, especially even doing these streams and stuff. I'm running into people from places like Germany, places like Australia. So cool. Some people I think have been from England, which is awesome. So yeah, super hyped. This coming weekend, I've got a Lego convention to go to. I've talked about it a few times. I'm not going to stop talking about it until that day comes out because I'm hyped. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a very good time. My father's going to come out with me too. So that will be a lot of fun doing that with him. I believe my brother's coming as well. So it's going to be like the whole family kind of thing, which is cool. I'm really excited to experience a convention with my father specifically because he hasn't been to one with me in close to a decade. He came with me in 2014. So it literally has been about a decade or so since he's been to one himself. So it's going to be pretty cool. He obviously when we went to the one in Toronto. So it's a very big city, and I think because of that, it had some of the best mocks that the country had to offer at the time. So I'm hoping that we find, honestly, mocks that are better. I'm really hoping that we can find some mocks that are more creative, right? We have a lot more new pieces now, new set designs, even new stickers and everything too, right? New printings, and people are just a lot more creative. So I'm hoping that he's kind of like shocked by how much they've changed, how much cooler they've gotten, how much different they look. And I was shocked. When I went earlier this year, I went to a convention in Edmonton, Alberta, and it was fantastic. It was such a good time. I had a blast. But one thing I took away from it was that, like, building Legos changed. People are, like, not just hardcore about it, they are, but they are full on intellectuals. I mean, some people got blueprints, they've got engineering degrees that are helping them design. Some people are architects. Like, it is crazy the creative minds that are coming together to put this stuff together. One thing I noticed too that was surprising, and I don't know, I should have expected it, but it's just something I found when I was looking at any set that any mock that had that little piece of paper, and it's got the name of the mock and all the information like description, and then it's got the creators. Now, one thing that I found to be crazy, a lot of the times it didn't necessarily matter if it was a big or a small mock, but a lot of people had multiple creators for a mock, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, that's surprising. Like, I genuinely thought a lot of Lego creations were just solo. It's just the thought that I had. I don't know why. It's just what I thought. So I found it interesting to see, and then of course, like, especially some decently big mocks at conventions too. They had a lot of creators. They had upwards. I've seen some little sheet cards that showed that there were like 15 creators for a mock. Now these mocks were the length of a 10-foot table, but yeah, a lot of involvement when it comes to creating stuff. And one thing I liked too that was awesome to see at the Lego convention that I went to earlier this year was the people that actually showed up. Now I know the creators display their own mocks themselves, but not everybody has the chance to walk around and talk with everybody on the floor. But I ended up running into quite a few of the creators that were standing right next to their creations. So I had a chance to talk with them and pick their brains and learn. One guy had a build called, I don't know if it was called House on Wheels or City on Wheels. It might have been called City on Wheels, but it was a literal mock that had tank-like treads and wheels, and it could move. It was motorized too, which was kind of interesting. So he had Lego motors on it, but it was just this ginormous city that was like all mushed together. It didn't necessarily make sense. It looked like a garbage ball, kind of like the food garbage ball from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Just a ginormous blob of different colors and random things, but it looked awesome. He even had the Orient Express, that new train set that came out, I think last year or the year before. He had that one, and it was shoved into, I would say, the middle-ish. Yeah, I think it was kind of like the middle. It was shoved into. It was very interesting. I'm like, that's just crazy. Like he's taken a couple $100 set and shoved it right into the middle of his mock there. And I don't know if he had to pull something out of the mock to make room for that train set, or if he already had, like, I don't know if he's just been building it outwards. It is probably like 5 feet by like close to 5 more feet. It is a huge wide mock set. I couldn't imagine trying to transfer it and to transport it either. Like transporting it, I believe he said was an absolute nightmare. Can't remember if he said like they saran wrap it or something, but that was, I heard at the conventions, it seemed to be like part of the battle was not just creating something like really awesome for the public to enjoy, but I think it was like really difficult for the creators to bring the mock to the convention without it being destroyed and just obliterated through transportation. So I guess some creators get lucky, some don't, where they end up spending hours and hours fixing their mock, especially because if it's like little micro pieces and details break off and they fall apart, it's not easy. It's not easy to correct it and put them back where they specifically belong, especially if you just don't remember. Some of these people, the mocks they had at these conventions, have been building them for upwards of a decade, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but for the most part, a lot of people, the ones that had big mocks, the ones that were like those 8 foot long mocks, those ones, big Star Wars mocks, which were really cool, but any mocks like that, a lot of people were breaking, and it was sad. So I'm excited. This one, the first one I went to, it was up in Edmonton, Alberta, which was really cool. 5 hours away from me. Now the next one I'm going to is Calgary, Alberta. So that one is 2.5-ish hours away from me, and this one's being held at a university, whereas the other one was a community hall. So I'm not sure which one's bigger. The Calgary one, they're talking about there being, I think it was over 100 creations, they said, so 100 different mocks. I don't know. I don't know how much bigger it's going to be. I'd have to relook on the site now. The Edmonton one, it's called Northern Bricks, is the Edmonton one. The Calgary Convention, what was that one called? Northern Bricks Brick Roundup? I think that was what the Calgary one's called, but one thing I do know is there's going to be a lot of people that go to the Edmonton one that go to the Calgary one because they're in the same province here. So that's kind of cool, actually. That like I'm going to actually see some of the same creators I've seen back in, I think it was the spring is when I went to the one in Edmonton. So pretty cool stuff. The only thing I'm a little sad about is there's only 2 conventions that are close to me. So I only have the chance to go to the one in Calgary, the one in Edmonton. I'm going to have to do some Googling and see about British Columbia. If there's one in British Columbia, depending on where it is, it might not be too bad for traveling. Like if it's Vancouver, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be like a 15-hour drive, 16-hour drive. So definitely like an overnighter kind of thing to get there. To get there probably. Not to, well, yeah, I probably have to break it up. Like I could probably make it to like Abbotsford, do like 14 hours or something. Unless I left super, super early and then had a hotel or something for Vancouver and just stopped there and just drove like early morning, I could make it happen. But I'd be willing to do that for a convention. Like that's how much I love conventions. Like I might even just make a video talking about how much I adore conventions because they're everything to me. I think they're a great way for not just Lego creators to show off their sets, which I think Lego creators should be able to do, especially without having a social presence online. I don't think every creator needs to. I think every creator is different, and I did miss a piece. I think not everyone wants to do, well, like this, for example, a live stream on YouTube, or they don't want to. What's another good example? They don't want to even just post Instagram pictures, about their sets. They just want to keep it completely offline. I think that's perfectly fine. And I think that's why conventions will work for someone like them. They can take it to a convention. They can still get all the recognition in the world. They can even be there in person, answer any questions that people have, chop it up with people, get praise from people, which I think is something that's really cool, is you can actually have somebody in real time tell you how awesome your mock is and what they really love about it, and just explain to you what the set makes them feel like from a different perspective, which is so cool. Because as a creator, you're going to have a one set mind, right? You're going to get to a point when you're building it where you're like, this is what I feel it, like this is what I feel about it. This is how the looks of it all makes me feel, and that's just not going to change until you get somebody else's perspective to kind of help you wrap your brain around it. Like, I know there's some people, once they've had a set for, I think, anything over 5 years, they're usually kind of sick of it after a while, so they just want nothing to do with it. But it takes them taking it to a convention to kind of rekindle the love, relight the fire, and give them a reason why to keep the set. Because I think a lot of people end up just wondering, like, well, why did I spend all that time building it when I could have done something else? What did I do here? Missed another piece. So yeah, because of that, that makes conventions really awesome. One more thing that's really nice about conventions is the social aspect of it. You're meeting like-minded individuals specifically for Lego. And one thing that I learned very quickly is you're going to meet people that are way more educated than you'll ever be on the topic Lego. Like, for example, some of the guys that were doing the motorized parts and the moving pieces for like a crane or a train. Yeah, these guys might be educated in degrees and they might have that going for them, but it's the experience they have with the Lego itself. Like, these guys, I mean, they can set up the tracks. They got all the motor pieces. They got all the knowledge to understand how the motors work, the attachments, the batteries, the this, the that. Like, that takes time. That takes a lot of time to learn, and it's cool to see a guy just rattle off that information in casual conversation as you're just standing there like, what? Super, super confused. So yeah, it's a huge learning experience, good social experience. Everybody's very happy to be there, like, sorry. Oh, the water's took me 1 second. Oh. Alright, I think I'm better. Am I better? Still choking. I'm trying to mute my mic. It's not working. There we go. 1 second. Okay, we're alive. And we are live. Oh, I'm so bad for drinking water the wrong way. There's a right way to do everything in life, and I always do it the opposite. But hey, we're alive. We're alive. So, like I was talking about the conventions, there's a lot to talk about, honestly. I know, like, and I think I think it's the internet that kind of destroys the hype for conventions, but I've been seeing a lot of Lego collectors that are like trying to find reasons to not like conventions. And it's like, why? Like, I understand you got to travel to them, and maybe depending on where you live, it's not convenient or it's not practical. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that Lego conventions have something to offer that generally, as a general consumer, you can't provide. Like all the set designs are a great first example. You can't do that at home. Like, unless you're like usually like a multi-millionaire, you don't have the money to afford the sets that were built. A lot of these ones and these mocks that are made, people are using pick a brick buys, or they're using Bricklink and they're buying specific pieces. So because they're doing that, that's kind of bringing the cost up possibly even higher. So for example, a lot of mocks cost a couple $1,000s. I think some mocks cost upwards of $10,000, $15,000. So with that being said, and the cost factor of that, I think you can't as easily replicate that. And because of that, it gives a one up for the Lego convention. In the same breath as well, I don't think you get the same feeling that you would in a chat. So if you're just chatting like right now, I'm building this set, and if you're just chatting in my chat stream saying like that's a cool set, I think this is an awesome build set, you know, the sign's really beautiful, I like the entranceways or something along the lines of that, and you feel like you're consuming the set, but you're really not. Like you're looking through it on a flat screen, right? 2D screen, even though like I have it in physical in person. But if I even just took this complete set and put it on a display in a convention, if you've never seen it in person and you went to a convention, I think you would be semi starstruck by just the fact of how much different a Lego set does look in person. They look different. I won't say they look all perfect all the time and the same, but they do look different, and especially in person. Like there's a couple sets that I'm thinking of. The first one, I'm trying to just kind of fix this because I think I messed it up. And that's how I messed it up. The first mock I can think about at the convention that kind of had me blown away, and it didn't look the same when I recorded it, was this Gollum set from Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna get this wrong, but I think it was like the Cliff of Rivendell or something like that, something along those lines. But it's an important set piece from the movie Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Sorry, it's an important set piece, and I was struck by the way the slope pieces were designed and rippling. They took a flat wall, turned it into a mountain wall, but instead of having like the jaded edges of like a cube like this, of a piece that's like being built upwards, they've used the slope side angles, angled it all sideways, and it shines. It's bright. It's not perfect. It's not 2D. You look at it, if you went to the side of the mock and you look downwards, you would see all the different levels that it pops in and pops out. And that had character, a lot of character that, once again, I couldn't show properly, at least, through the camera lens. And it was kind of annoying. I'm like, this sucks, because I really was hoping that it would look good. And then I remember watching it when I was editing, and I'm like, wow, like this just doesn't have that pizzazz, that wow factor that I was hoping for. You know, there was one more, and I just didn't think it looked very well on video. It was the crane. They had this 15-foot crane at the convention, and it was motorized, and it was actually moving, which was kind of crazy. It was moving up and down, and it would rotate where it had an arm. So let's say this was its arm, and the arm can go up and it can go down, but it had a pulley system rig on the arm that was attached that could move up and down this way. So the pulley piece would move, and it had a little string attached, and let's say there was a little bowling ball or wrecking ball piece at the bottom there hanging, where sometimes it would pick up a truck car and move it. So like, it's like this would move up like an arcade machine, then it would go down, pick up, and then this piece would raise up, and it can go as high as 15 feet high. And for some reason, no matter what I did to try and film it, it just didn't have the same effect. I don't know why. It just didn't show on camera how cool it was. Like, to me, it was like finding your first Tonka truck, your first Thomas the Tank Train engine, something like that, where I was like, what? I'm like, I haven't seen a motorized item like that before. And yeah, I was really upset. It just did not show well on camera. I got one Lego piece I gotta grab here that fell on the ground. Let me just quickly grab it. And then we're actually done this bag. It's this piece right here. So that's kind of cool. We got one more bag left for the set. So I'm actually kind of surprised. If I can just get back in my seat here. I'm surprised. I thought initially when we were going to build this tower here, this was going to be like a flat piece, but we're actually building them in halves. So you do this. That bad boy goes there. What did I do? Did I do that all right? I did. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to take this guy. Where does he go? Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, how does that go in and attach? So this is all kind of like loosey-goosey because it's supposed to explode, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not about breaking Lego sets, and this is like one that's supposed to be broken. The kind of cool thing, I'm gonna see if I can grab it here. This is a really cool set piece. The one cool thing, there's a tiny little connector piece there that's holding it. It's like a little... No! Just as I said, I didn't want to break it. I will say, I'm sure that they tested this. It doesn't fall apart. Break test number one, it doesn't fall apart. Like, it breaks apart, so it's supposed to fall apart like that, but it didn't, like, the little pieces here didn't come flying off. So, kind of proud. Like, right off the rip, just like quick little first thoughts. I'm proud. It held up. The only problem... Oh, that's... I was like, which side does this one go on? So, yeah, so the whole idea is you're supposed to be, like, quick about it, or quicker, and you're supposed to be able to put that back on. But that's looking real nice. I like how that tower's starting to look. Let me grab our final bag. And one of the cool things... Let's get this out of here and get the noise done. One cool thing is we finally get to see what Luffy looks like. We didn't have Luffy last time. So, for some reason, they gave us all the other minifigs. We got them sitting over here. We got Arlong, Nami, we got Chu, we got Usopp. And then for some reason, they're like, hey, you can have the torso of Luffy, but you don't get him till you're done. So, now that we've opened our last bag here, let's just get to Luffy. I've been waiting a hot minute here. I've been kind of excited. I like this. This Luffy, though, is the Netflix version, so it's kind of funny. It's not the anime Luffy. Where did his... I got his pants. I got his head. I'm blanking on his torso here. Did I? Oh, no, it's... See? And this is what I get for not building him right away. I completely forgot. His torso is the long arms. It's the only thing I don't think I like, to be honest, and that might be a hot take, because it's like, I just realized, I don't know, his arms are always going to be long like this, which kind of sucks. I would have liked, actually, and I guess it just would have cost a lot of money, but even just another torso without the long arms. It's the only thing that's kind of, it's not the end of the world, it's just like, it's not going to be easy to display that bad boy. He going to take up some space, but I do think it's one of the coolest playable features is a good way to say it. It's a cool play feature that you're able to actually move his arms. I could be wrong, and I more than likely am, but I do not know of any play sets in Lego that allow you to manipulate the minifigure like this. From my understanding, most minifigures are just still guys like this, you know. Maybe their moldings are a little bit more unique and stuff, but I've never seen this. This turns this guy into more of like an action figure. Like, he's a playable figure. He's not just a minifigure anymore. So I could see a lot of people when they get this set, this Luffy is going to be banged up pretty good. He's going to have some good wear marks. He's going to have some scratches, because that's a fig that's going to get used. If it doesn't get used, they got to be an adult like me where they just don't have that play in them anymore. Because that's what I feel like they've done design-wise, is specifically for that. Looks like we're still going to add to the tower here. I thought we were building the roof, but looks like we're getting to that. For some reason, they just wanted you to finish the build. What are we looking for? A slope? There we go. So, I've talked about the Lego convention that I'm hitting up in Calgary next weekend. What else did I talk about? I talked about that I'm going to be building the Barity floating restaurant. I'm going to do that on Friday. I'm going to stream that. I'm not sure what time exactly, but I'm hoping to allot a decent amount of time to do that because I'm not going to do it in one stream. I know that for a fact. It's going to take a while. Did I mess this up already? No. Ooh, we got a comment. What's up, man? You said at Dollarama today. I saw they're selling One Piece trading cards, eh? That's interesting. I went to Walmart and I seen that they're selling them. Are they selling? I guess if they're selling them, I thought I seen stickers or something at Dollarama for One Piece, but that's the official trading card game. It'd be kind of cool if it is. I don't know if I want to get into it. I'm like so scared to have to pick up another expensive hobby, but if they're just dollar store cards and they're not overly expensive, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to pick up a few. I'm a total fiend for anything One Piece. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I love Dollarama. They've been adding stuff lately, adding and taking away. And so I've been checking up on their Lego aisles, and I think they have a new Ninjago poly bag that's out there. I've been taking a look at that. I want to pick it up, but I've been waiting. They have a couple friends ones that are kind of like boring, and I have most of the ones, the poly bags that they were selling. I was hoping for some more to come out. I just don't know what their release schedule is. It's so random. Even for all their other stuff, like any cards or any other toys, you gotta go like every month with Dollarama to check out their stuff. This piece. It's kind of nice. We're finally on the final bag here for our build. It's nice to actually see the finished product and see what this set finally looks like after doing this for two little streams. It's cool. Still got quite a ways though. This was 900 pieces. I think this is probably the biggest set that I've built since I've started collecting again. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I wish Dollarama though would sell bigger sets. Something just at least bigger than a poly bag. I guess it's not necessarily easy for them to acquire it. I'm surprised that they even acquired poly bags to begin with, but maybe it's coming one day. Maybe we'll get like, even if it's just the $15 sets, like, I guess it's just too expensive for right now. But like Dollarama, they've turned it, right? It's a dollar plus now or whatever it's called. So whatever, right? Like you got $5 deodorants. I'm pretty sure you could do $8 little mini sets or $10 sets or something. There's not really a lot of small sets out there though anymore when you start looking. The cheapest sets I can think of are like $15 ones. There's not many $10 ones out there. Lego's got to get on that. They got to start getting into the cheap demographic again. That's where the CMFs come in. It'd be kind of sweet if they actually sold some CMFs at the Dollaramas. I was out shopping today with my father, and we actually stopped at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I was surprised to find they didn't have any of them. Unfortunately, it was the F1 race cars that they came out with, the collectible series. It was empty though. It was just the display box, but they sell them. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize Shoppers Drug Mart had toys. So you really never know with who sells Lego. You just don't. But I gotta go back to Toys R Us again too. I gotta take a look and see what they got for product and stock. Kind of update myself again. Get myself kind of back in the groove there. I might do it when they do their October drop for sets. For new Lego sets. Kind of take a look and see what they might have bring in there. Fortunately, where I live, the Toys R Us I think kind of gets blackballed. They don't get a lot of like the new stuff right away. It takes a little while because of it being a smaller city. Now, if I was up in Calgary, I think they get their stock fairly quickly. Oh, thought something was jiggling around. No, the little window. It's come undone. See if I can try and push it back into place. Did I do it? Oh, I think I did it. Nice. Score. Okay, Which way did I have this angle? Like that? Yes. Cool. And I need... Is it this one? Yeah, perfect. I'm trying to think right now. Any other stores that we can shop at for Lego? Walmart's okay. Walmart's selection's not horrible. I think there's a place called Canada Wholesale Club. I think they might sell Lego more like seasonally when Christmas is around. I could be wrong about that, but I think they have a toy section. There's always like a bunch of just random places. There's another toy store that I'm always forgetting about called Mastermind Toys. They sell Lego, and I just don't know if it's like a little bit above what they normally ask at retail or not, but I gotta take a look at them too. Take a look, see what they got for stuff. They might have some old CMFs and stuff. It's always kind of exciting going into a store and they have old stuff. It's really, really cool. Especially like if it's like a CMF from like 5 months ago or something like that, and you're like, yo, I just scored. But right now I want the new CMFs. I want the new Spider-Mans. We got a couple packages finally to open up, which is really cool, but took a while. Took a while to get them. The hype is real when it comes to the CMF guys. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't even know if the CMF Spider-Mans are ever going to hit shelves, to be honest. I don't see it happening. Maybe it's a little different in the States, but for where I live in Canada too, tight right now. It's not easy. Not easy at all finding them CMFs. But everything seems to kind of be like that. How do you call it? Product, the stock, it's not coming out properly right now. It's so weird. I'm even noticing it in everything that we're getting though, like beverages or food, even like more necessity items. Like this is all like just luxury and play. But even our necessities, we're having like a weird supply demand for everything. I don't know if that's just due to the fact that we have more people living in our country, more population. But Lego ain't easy. I even had a hard time finding the F1 cars, even though now, and they're already out of print, which is like so weird to think about and talk about, that like they came and went just like that. And now we're already seeing a bunch of different sets on Amazon, and we're coming up on, I think they call it Prime Day or something for another big sale. But Amazon just keeps throwing sales on 40%, 30% off on sets, and they're retiring them. There's a ton of sets that are retiring this year that gotta go. They just not enough room for them, and we're never gonna see them again, which is so hard to believe. This one, what am I looking for here? There we go. I would like to see, and I think people have been kind of mentioning it a little bit, but I want to see some poly bags of some different sets. We get our Star Wars all the time, we get our Ninjago, but I want to see a little bit more. I want to see maybe some smaller niche ones. I think the Lego stores end up getting more stuff like that, and when it comes to like Walmarts and stuff, you end up missing out. So you said you remember going, what's up, Happy Duty? I think it was Happy Duty. I remember going into liquidation stores a few years ago and finding an old Lego Batman movie set. The price of it was like 200. Ooh, you got it on sale for $60 though. Nice. Liquidation stores are very good. They're very good. The only issue with them is their sales just come and go so fast. So it's another one you gotta be kind of like in the know. But no, that's a great one to get into. The Batman movie sets, I don't think they sold the best either. So I think they're worth an okay amount. But I do remember when that line came out, it was kind of weird. It's almost like we had a burnout of the what do you call them? Stop motion animation movies. That whole line of series. We had the I think we had the second Lego movie already come out by that point. Then you had the Batman one, the Ninjago one, just a whole whack of them. And then they kind of like every single time that a new one came out, they just did less well. And I'm trying to think right now what the next Lego movie would be. I don't know if it's announced right now or not. Okay, how am I? That goes on there. Oh, that makes sense. Connect it. Cool. But we're eating good for next year though. We got some good stuff happening next year, which is kind of nice. I'm really really excited. We got some really good sets coming out, some good brands. We have I'm hoping some more games. I don't know if y'all keep up with the video games very much, but they've got that Batman game that's been announced. I'm really excited though to see another Lego game but with the new engines that they have. It seems to be really awesome with the graphics and everything. Am I doing that right? I'm hoping for something along the lines I'm surprised they did Horizon. They did a Lego Horizon video game, which was kind of wild. I'm hoping for something crazy like that in a different brand. Like a Lego One Piece game would be kind of wild to see. I don't think I put this. Ooh, I don't think I put this on right. It just connects there with the one, and I don't know if it's supposed to spin or not, but it's kind of weird. Even another IP for Lego, a new one that's like I forget what the proper word would be, but like specific, where it's Lego only. It would be really nice to see a new one like that. I know we have the Lego monkey sets, monkey kid sets. Those are cool. Those are cool. I will say that, but I kind of came in too late. I don't really know what's going on like lore wise or show wise in that one, so I want a new show that's kind of fresh. So I wonder if scalpers will eat up all the Pokemon sets. I think so. I think there's a genuine problem, and it's not even going to be Lego collectors' faults for over consuming the Pokemon sets. I think it's going to be a mixture of Lego collectors, and then all of the Pokemon card resellers are going to hop in, and I think that's what it's going to cause the chaos of trying to collect Pokemon sets, sorry. I think it's going to be the card collectors that come in and try to double dip, try to profit off of just everything like Pokemon related. Because I've noticed they're doing the same thing with like Pokemon plushies or uh, any kind of collectibles that are Pokemon, like a Pokemon bed set with sheets and pillowcases, and people are going crazy for that. It's a wild time out here. So yeah, I would be very concerned. More concerned about just not being able to get any of it. I have a feeling it's going to sell out so well that yo, another game that would sell really well too. An Uncharted Lego game. I would totally be up for that. Especially being that I think they're done the series now. I played the 4 games and I don't think they're planning on making any more. So they 100% could make a Lego Uncharted, and that would be sweet. There's the mechanics are there for it. They could find a way to make it like a very parkour game, but still fun. It could be interesting. I think the engine, the video game engine, it's there for it now. It's definitely it's what's the proper word? Like the technology is there for it. Like there's basically almost no loading times. That helps Lego games a lot more when it comes to loading the levels. I'm interested to see, and I don't know if we already have one or not, but an open world Lego game. It'd be really cool to see like a true proper modern day one where there's basically no load times. You have buildings that you can walk into and actually do stuff inside. Or another one would be interesting is a Lego video game that's more like a sandbox where it's you can just destroy everything in the level. It's just like a completely malleable level. That could be a lot of fun. Where you just like if it's let's say like a Marvel game and you get to play the Hulk or something and you're able to just absolutely destroy a city. That could be a lot of fun. There's many ways that they can go with the Lego video games, and I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong way to make them, honestly. As long as the graphics are decent, the gameplay is like really really good, and the script writing for the story is like the comedy's decent enough. I think every Lego game is just going to be a banger after a banger. I am going to make sure I wanted to put it on my wish list, but they didn't put like a date on it. But I want to make sure I actually stream some of that Lego Batman game. I want to play some of it live here. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I have no idea when it's coming out. They just said 2026, and I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped that I was like, let's do this, and then yeah, I have no idea when it's coming. I'm hoping early 2026, being that there was a bunch of gameplay already released for it. So the game's gotta be in its final phase at the very least. A Lego open world game would be legendary. Definitely. Oh, did you say Dune? Ooh, that's quite interesting. So I've watched the first Dune movie. I know the second one's out, but I heard it's supposed to be a trilogy. So I figured I'm gonna wait for the third one to come out, and then I'll watch the second and third one together. I'm gonna have to rewatch the first one if I'm being honest, because it's one of those films that I don't know why I'm just not really remembering the greatest. But I do remember the way the movie builds that world, like set wise, and Dune would be a great sci-fi world to have open world. And with those Star Wars complete saga that they had come out, that's a great example of how something like Dune could look. I think they could do an awesome job with that. There's tons of possibilities for it. And, I think it's a high possibility. I did see, because I Googled to see if there was any Dune sets, and I think they had like a collector's set come out for it. So they've already done a Lego set. Why not do a game? Honestly, why not do more Lego games? Like, they're going to do them all in the same engine, and I don't know if it's Unreal Engine 5 that they're doing it on or whatever, but they're going to do them all in the same engine, and all you're doing is changing character sprites and usually like, game levels and world levels and stuff. So it's not easy peasy, but it is interchangeable to a point where it's like, I feel like they could be pumping out Lego games a little bit more often, you know? Obviously, you gotta have some kind of control over it so they don't just come out as like poopy doopy slop, but it would be cool. It'd be cool every year to have like a really, really solid Lego game come out once a year. I don't think any Lego games came out this year. I might be wrong about that one, but I know we had Lego Fortnite, and I think that was like a mini game in Fortnite, or that was a game in and of itself. I'm not sure what was going on now. I was kind of confused by it. Or I couldn't tell if it was skins or something like that, but so they had that, but that's not like a proper Lego game, So, how do we do this? Oh, and then we're going to connect it to this one. Okay, that makes sense as to why it didn't connect before. That goes like that. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is looking real nice. So you said we need a sequel to Lego Jurassic World. Yes, I agree. You know what would be almost even better is maybe even doing like a remake. Do a remake of the first one, do the second one, and then do the third one, but release it all in a trilogy. So you've got Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and is it Dominion or World Dominion? Whatever the last one is, I think it'd be really cool just to have all three of them, because the story's done, right, for that trilogy of Jurassic World. I know they have the new one that came out, and it's like tied to it because it's in the same timeline, but different time. So you can do a trilogy easily. Keep them semi-short, keep the games, like, I don't know what the first one was lengthwise, but keep them between 10 or 15 hours a game. That would be sweet, though. I would pay for that, 100%. Ooh. So we got some scary stuff coming up here. We got some stickers. Where did I put that sheet? This is going to get scary. We got number 8. Oh, this one's got one on one side, one on the other. I think I can manage that. Hopefully. Let's see here. Nothing worse than struggling with stickers. Did I do it? No. Oh, come on. Oh, this is a bad day. Oh, no, no, no. Did I? Oh, that's rough. That's rough. That's bad. It's like right on the edge there. I tried so hard to stay in the lines. It reminds me of coloring books when you're like drawing and you're supposed to like stay in the line. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. It's not for me. Let's see if I can do the other side a little bit better. Doesn't matter anymore. It's kind of bad. That's better. Definitely. Yeah. We're a little bit closer. A little bit closer to the middle. So you said that a DLC for the camp Cretaceous TT show would be a good idea to help support the story. That would be. That would be pretty interesting. We got one more sticker left. But I think this is the flag to the... It is too. Oh, I get it now. The shark goes on top here. Building that fishman territory. Territory kind of flag. Make sure there's no hair on it. This one's kind of... Like, where do I place it? Like there? Oh, no. That's okay. It's passable. It's passable. We'll take it and leave it. Okay. I think we're basically done, guys. I don't think there's much else now to the build. I think it's all supposed to move like that. Should be able to connect it. Like how? How do we connect this? Just like that? And it just sits like that? And then why does that? It says this is supposed to just fall. Okay. How do we pop it? You're supposed to be able to, is there a... Okay. Interesting. So they're telling me here, through steps of 1 to 3, if I can read right, all you're supposed to do is pop down that guy. And apparently, Luffy jumps on this. Fair enough. Fair enough. It works. Okay. I don't know where this piece came from. That was my worst fear. Was having pieces get knocked off and then I have no idea where they came from. Huh. So you wrote here, the last Lego set I bought was last year. I think it was the Fortnite Loot Llama. I hear you, man. I hear you. The set prices can be pretty daunting, pretty stressful trying to think about it too. But that's a pretty funny set that you got though. That Fortnite banana. I remember that set. Or sorry, llama set. I was thinking about the banana one while I said llama. That's where it goes, right there. But yeah, no, that's a cool set. I actually, you know what? I gotta say, I don't mind the Fortnite sets. I think they're all cool. I really like that Transformer one that they had come out. I haven't played Fortnite in ages, so I have no idea about like what's going on lore or story wise. So I just find it hilarious that they just came out with a Transformers Fortnite guy. It's like that bear thing. It's just so funny. But I think everything that Fortnite does is good, and honestly, to make Lego sets of it just makes sense, right? I don't think Fortnite's going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be a game that just drops off the face of the earth. So with that being said, we should get more Fortnite sets in the future, I'm hoping. I'd like to get, I think they have figures for Fortnite. I think they do. If they do, I have to get a few of them eventually. Something I'll have to look into. But I'm looking for that like antenna piece that we had. We just do like one explosion and now I can't seem to... Oh, there it is. Hidden in the shack. Well, that's the full build. It's kind of sweet. I'm pretty happy. So you don't play Fortnite anymore, but you do love the sets. The battle bus. The battle bus is a cool one. Yeah, I don't know which figures does the battle bus have that banana guy in it? Because if it does, that's really cool. To be honest, that's really really cool. I'm just gonna Google here quickly. Is it battle bus Fortnite? Oh yeah, here we go. This is so cool. You know what? This is a set that I might be looking into as well. Right off the bat, I'm seeing that. It's the female with like the bear thing. What do they call that? Crazy looking bear. Oh yeah, they got basically all the iconic skins. That's pretty sweet. And then obviously the bus itself. Who would have thought that a set like that would actually make like the most amount of sense in Lego? Right? Like when you're just thinking like off the bat, you're like, I can't make the world map unless you did like a one stud digi art style of it. You could do that, but to like make a set out of the map, it would just be very difficult. I mean, you could build it in sections eventually, but not the whole thing in one go. But to have the bus, like it's so simple, it's so easy, and it's a great way to get a lot of the skins out off the bat too. right? Because you got to fill a bus up with figures. So that's really cool. Thank you for mentioning about that. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head now, because I just looked and they have it. It's still like in print and everything. They're selling it, so it's not sold out yet. That's a good thing for now, right? But yeah, thank you everyone for coming to the stream. This was a lot of fun. My big goal today was just to finish up the set. I am going to probably do a cool little video just talking about this, do my review thoughts and everything. But my initial thoughts, I like it. It's cool. This is probably one of the more interactive like play sets I've seen in a long time. Like with this little button here of pressing it and then exploding. I think it's so cool. And it's designed to do that where, you know, your Lego pieces and chunks aren't flying everywhere. So it's controlled chaos, which I think is probably the best type of chaos. But yeah, this was a fun build. Fun build. I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you again for coming in, guys. I will have, and I have it right behind the camera, the floating Barity restaurant set for One Piece. So that's our next build that I'm going to build. I'm going to do that on Friday. Don't know what time exactly, but we're going to hopefully do a pretty long stream on that. So make sure if you have some time on Friday to come in, comment, say hi. Thank you again, everyone, for coming in and checking out today's stream. It was fun. I haven't done an evening week stream. I think I'm going to try and do it a little bit more often. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm busy with volunteering with my brother, but most of the other nights, I'm pretty free. So, yeah. Just let's read some more of these comments before I go. Have a good night. I'll be sure to watch the video. Awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, thank you guys again. But we're going to leave the stream here. So, hope you guys all have a great Wednesday. And I'll catch you all if you want to watch my videos. I upload them pretty well daily. So, there'll be another video to check out tomorrow. But yeah, that's it, guys.